One of the keys to living a good life is actually to contemplate your own death. Whoa, Jesse, it's 9:42 and you're talking about death. Give me a second to breathe. Well, I'll give you a second to breathe. All right, now that you breathed, let's talk about death. So, death is something we will all face. And to conclude that this is a reality is important for you, when you contemplate your own death, you can reorganize, reorder, and reprioritize your life. So there's an exercise in a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and he does this exercise called the funeral exercise. I recommend everyone does this. What you do is you sit down, you create a quiet space, you kind of go into your mind's eye, you think, and you imagine your own funeral. And as you imagine your own funeral, you imagine 4 different types of people there that come up to the podium to speak at your own funeral. The first person that you imagine is a close friend. Then you imagine a close family member. Then you imagine one of your coworkers, and specifically choose these people by name. And then you imagine someone from a club or a group or an association you're a part of. So, a family member, a friend, a coworker, and someone part of a club or association that you belong to or have belonged to during your time on earth. And you imagine what each of them would say, but not just what they'd say, but how they'd say it about you if you were to die today. So you imagine what they say, and then you consider, is that what you want to be known for? Is that what you want people to say about you? About what you've accomplished, what you've done? Just picture what they would say. And if you see something that's incongruent with what you want to be remembered for, then change it today. So this is a morbid exercise, but it has real fruit. You know, the Nobel Peace Prize was invented by Alfred Nobel. When he read an obituary about himself, when his brother Victor died, the newspaper messed up and wrote that he died, Alfred Nobel. And he was the inventor of dynamite, and when he read his own obituary, it said that he was someone that created a mass weapon to destroy. When he read that about himself, it caused him to rethink what he wanted to be known for, and when he saw his own death falsely in the newspaper, he said, I want to be remembered for something bigger. And he created, in his will, in his rest of his life, he created the Nobel Peace Prize, which goes to people that create solutions to major problems. And this is something that's a goal to be attained by many, and something people aspire to add value to the world. So there's an example of someone who contemplated his own death in a crazy way.